Hello, scholars. This is Miss Milliner, and on today I'm going to read you a story. And today's story is called The Clever Hen. The Clever Hen. This story was written by Saragine Francois and illustrated by Yoko Matusoka. Yes. Now, as we look at the cover of this book, we can see that we have a hen with glasses on and a hen pushing a basket full of books. Now, just by looking at the cover of this story, we can tell that this story will be a fiction story. This is a story that is not true. It's not a real story. It's make-believe, because we know in real life that hens do not wear glasses, nor do they read books, and they do not just wear glasses. I already said that. But okay, we'll go ahead and start. The Clever Hen. The Clever Hen. Oh, I forgot to tell you, scholars, when we get done, Ms. Milliner will choose a name out of this cup, and the winner will receive this book in the mail this week. So that's at the end of the story. Stay tuned to figure out who won the book. Cock-a-doodle-doo did all the roosters while the big bright orange sun began slowly rising on the farm. In the chicken coop, several hens began to lay eggs joyfully, while an unusual hen glanced behind her book, wearing giant cat-like glasses, who thought she could never lay eggs. The hens named her Mrs. Clever because she thought she was so clever. Miss Clever loves to read. She will wake up before the sunrise, before the roosters sang, before her barnyard friends opened their eyes, and read her books, her newspapers, and her magazines as she sipped coffee every morning. Mrs. Clever was so clever. Miss Clever believed she was the smartest hen in the coop and always says what is on her mind, even when she probably should not. I had never, not once, made a mistake, she tells her fellow hens in an arrogant tone. In fact, I hold the record for perfection in the coop. The sun is now up, and so are the birds chirping from their nests. The cow and her calf, the pig and her piglets, and the sheep with their lamb are ready for the wonderful day. Nearby, the ducks and their ducklings take a morning swim in the lake. In the chicken coop, some eggs began to crack and hatch as Mother Hen felt joy witnessing new life. Can you watch my chicks? One of the hens asked Miss Clever, while I go help my mother hen for a while. Miss Clever looked at her chicks as they began jumping up and down and immediately replied, "Oh no, that's not my problem. I don't have any chicks besides. Can you see my cart? I have lots to read," and walked away from the coop to a nearby lake for some peace and quiet. Miss Clever walked towards the lake with her book cart and noticed the horse stable and the laughing horse. "Can you stay for a little while?" the laughing horse asked. "What are you laughing at?" Miss Clever questioned in an angry voice. "What's so funny?" She wondered as she placed her wings on her hip. "Today is a beautiful day," the laughing horse replied. Miss Cleaver looked at the sky as the sun began beaming down and said, "Well, I'll stay for a little while, only if you can answer this question." "What's the question?" the laughing horse asked. "What planet is closest to the sun?" Miss Cleaver asked. The laughing horse thought for a second and said, "I don't know." Miss Cleaver began to laugh at the laughing horse and said, "The answer is Mercury." This was the first time the laughing horse stopped laughing. Then she walked past the bushes and saw the coolest pig in the pig pen. I think she hurt the laughing horse's feelings. He looked sad. "Do you want to see me do the coolest trick?" the pig asked. "No, not really," Miss Cleaver answered. "Besides, there's no such word as wanna. It's want to." As she walked away with a smirk on her beak. Finally, Miss Cleaver whispered to herself as she took a deep breath and sat beneath the tree, "I can finally read in peace and quiet." She read her book until she noticed a sign on the tree that read, "Contest." "This is perfect," she thought to herself. "This contest will begin tomorrow, and I can finally show my many talents to all of the farm animals." Oh, what a surprise! That morning, Miss Cleaver woke from her nest and was terribly shocked. Her eyes widened and her beak dropped. Her glasses fell on the ground. "Oh no!" she shouts. "This can't be!" What's going on? Why is she so terrified? What did she see? Miss Cleaver's eggs finally hatched, while the other hens glanced from their nearby nests. She didn't know what to do or how to take care of her chicks. "Can you help me?" Miss Cleaver asked in a panicked voice. "I don't know what to do." The hen looked at Miss Cleaver and replied, "That's not my problem. Why should I help you?" Oh. Let us give you some time to read all of your books," one of the hens suggested to Miss Cleaver. "Let's go, girls." We do not want to disrupt Miss Cleaver, and left the coop with her chicks to a nearby lake. Miss Cleaver was all alone and not a friend to count on to help her in her time of need. So she didn't have anyone to help her when she needed help. I wonder why. The laughing horse took a stroll on the farm and peeked inside the chicken's coop where Miss Cleaver lives. "Can you stay for a little while?" Miss Cleaver asked in a desperate voice. "I need help with my chicks." "Well, I'll stay for a little while," the laughing horse answered, "only if you can answer this question." What do you think the question would be? What do you think the laughing horse would ask the hen, Mrs. Cleaver? I don't know. Let's see. "What's the question?" Miss Cleaver asked. "Why were you so cruel to me when I asked you to stay with me yesterday?" the laughing horse asked. Miss Cleaver thought for a second and said, "I don't know." The laughing horse began to laugh and walked away from Miss Cleaver. Miss Cleaver was immediately taken by the uproar outside her window. "What's that noise?" she wondered, and saw the coolest pig on his shiny motorcycle. "Can I see your coolest trick?" Miss Cleaver asked the pig. The pig looked at Miss Cleaver and replied, "Maybe next time. I have to go to a contest," and rode away. "Oh no," Miss Cleaver said to herself, with a horrified look in her eyes, as she watches her chicks chirping, crying, and tweeting all at once. They had spilled her coffee, dropped her books, and ripped the pages from one of her best stories. "What am I to do now? What am I to do?" she thought to herself. "How can I make this right?" Oh, now she wants to make it right. The sun was now beginning to set over the farm, painting pretty colors in the evening sky. Miss Cleaver remembered how she mocked her fellow hens, laughed at the laughing horse, and ridiculed the pig. She had realized she was rude and impolite, and is determined to make it right. Miss Cleaver decided to go and meet her farm animals and say the most important thing. What do you think she's going to tell her farm animals? What is the most important thing that she can say right now when she realized that she was being very rude and mean to the other hens, the horse, and the pig? What do you think she's going to say? Let's see. Boom, 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 the fireworks did lightning and igniting the night sky in beautiful hues, while the coolest pig showed his favorite tricks to the farm animals. The front wheel of his motorbike stood up, and he did the best wheelie ever. "Hooray! Hooray!" The barnyard animals cheered, shouted, and applauded. "Bravo! Bravo!" They applauded. Miss Cleaver entered the farm stage with her chicks, and the only sounds were from the fireworks. Every barnyard friend stood stiff and quiet as she interrupted the laughing horse's joke. "She's a comedian," Miss Cleaver thought to herself. "How about that?" What is she doing here? Who does she think she is, trying to take the spotlight? Miss Cleaver's eyes began to look gloomy as she gathered her thoughts. The laughing horse looked at her, waiting for her to speak. Everyone's looking at Miss Cleaver, and they're wondering, what is she doing here? "I want to say, I'm sorry," she expressed in a sincere voice to the laughing horse, "for the way I made you feel, including you, Mr. Pig, for ridiculing you yesterday. I also want to say, I'm sorry to my fellow hens in the coop for mocking and being impolite." "Will you forgive me?" she asked. With a surprised look, the hens immediately turned their heads. They could not believe it. "Of course we will," they replied. The evening was now splendid. The cow smiled, the pig cheered, the sheep glanced over at Miss Cleaver, hugging the laughing horse, while the hens held her chicks. The contest was now over, and every barnyard friend walked home happily ever after. The end. Look at everyone in the picture. They look all happy and friendly now because Miss Hen apologized for being so rude to everyone. You know, everyone makes mistakes, but when you apologize and make things right, it makes everything better, you know. The end. I love this book, The Clever Hen. Now, time for the winner. Shake this cup up. The winner of this book, The Clever Hen, goes to Adria Luna. Adria Luna, you are the winner of The Clever Hen. This book will be sent to you today, and you will receive it in a tomorrow in a couple of days. Have a good day. Bye.